is Kit Laser.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things After Hours.
After hours.
Some of you might be new to this. It was previously a Patreon-only feature where we would just kind of shoot the shit and upload it to Patreon. But now, due to the strike of SAG-AFTRA and the WGA and our desire to be in solidarity with those folks, we've shifted our content indefinitely. Could be a couple of days. It could be a couple of months. We don't know. And so in that line of thinking, we're uploading an After Hours probably at least once a week, just us here shooting the shit. We'll take questions from our fans and listeners. And thank you so much to everybody who's been so supportive throughout this process. We got so many emails and tweets and DMs. Hey, I'm sticking with you. I listen to
Thank you for the love.
no matter what you talk about. Plus, I respect what you're doing. It's the right thing to do. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to blah, blah, blah. You guys are very sweet, but you get the idea.
Yada, yada, yada.
Love you, love you, love you. A lot of people upped their patronage or joined the Patreon just to show support. We appreciate that more than I can possibly give voice to. I mean, that's an amazing show throughout a crazy week for my mental health, trying to process all of this stuff and what might happen to my businesses, our shows and stuff. And I was lifted up, hoisted on the shoulders of the listeners, as usual.
In the arms of an angel.
In the arms of the patrons.
Yeah, of the Enza. You get it because like Enya and Enza. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I thought it was good. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. And thank you guys for those of you that wrote in to show support. You can continue to do that at streamingthingspod@gmail.com. You can patronize us at patreon.com/streamingthings. Or go to streamingthingspod.com and find some of our previous work. And don't worry, we're going to return to our lost coverage and everything else that we had planned eventually.
Yeah, when the strike's over.
When the strike's over.
And if you want to show support to the artists that are on strike, we are currently selling a T-shirt on our merch store, the Striking Thing shirt. It's really, really fun. All the proceeds of that shirt that we sell will be donated to the SAG-AFTRA fund. Directly, so that you can help the artists who are trying to get theirs. That's right. Pay your actors and writers.
Laser declined to comment shirt live?
No, it is not. I think we were going to let
shirt.
the Striking Thing shirt some time to breathe before we introduce the shirt we actually benefit from.
That was fun stuff.
It was a good shirt.
Yeah, Kit Laser made the news, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, talk about this.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
So After Hours, like you said before, is very laid back. We're just hanging out. We tell personal stories about ourselves and our life. Kit, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Wow.
Let me ask you about this article that happened.
Yeah, so it's I think it's fun. I think it's a fun story.
Yeah.
You know, I did a video, I explained this on air a couple of weeks ago, but I did a video talking about how actors change their names. 9 times out of 10, it's because the Actors Guild, SAG, you can only be registered one time under a certain name, right? So once there's a Tom Cruise registered with the Guild, there can be no other Tom Cruises registered with the Guild. So a lot of people change their name for that reason. For instance, Tom Cruise's original name is Thomas Mopather IV. So he went by his middle name, Cruise, so on and so forth. Happens all the time. I
can't believe there were 3 other people that preceded him named Thomas Mopather.
Michael
Mopather.
Well, he probably just didn't want to go by that name. But Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas. And there's already a famous Michael Douglas.
That would have been tough.
Which is funny because Michael Douglas's dad, Kirk Douglas, his name is not Kirk Douglas. So if he had not changed his name to Kirk Douglas, then Michael Keaton would be Michael Douglas. In a different universe, that's the case. It's just interesting. Wow. So as a joke,
multiverse of Douglases.
Yeah, and I found out by doing my research for that Kit is short for Chris in most countries. And so Kit Harington's real name is Chris Harrington, but Kit is just short for Chris in the same way that Jim is short for James, right? So I was like, ooh, at the end of this, I made a joke. And I said, so my name going forward will be Kit Laser. And then I committed to the bit so hard. I changed my name to Kit Laser on all social medias. I started going by it here on the podcast. As you guys know, I was just fucking around, whatever.
And you found out.
I did. So during the strike on TikTok, I went on strike, a couple of days in with the actors and writers and said I wouldn't be talking about new movies and TV shows. And things have progressed. Every day we get new information. I basically hardly talked about movies at all on my main platform. But NBC News, national news, reached out to me a couple of days after that video and said, hey, I'd like to get some comments from you about the content creators who are going on strike in solidarity with the actors and writers. And I said, no, I'm not comfortable being a spokesperson, representing myself as the spokesperson for content creators during this unprecedented and confusing time.
Yeah.
Thank you for reaching out. Which she could have used that quote and it would have been a better quote than declined to comment. But so they wrote the article anyway. I guess I didn't really think about how news works. And took a bunch of quotes of mine just from the video and said TikTok creator Kit Laser says this and says this. And then at the end of the article, it's like Laser declined to comment.
He said, fuck you, news.
I really hope whoever wrote that story hated themselves a little bit for writing Laser declined to comment.
So now my name is well and truly Kit Laser. I
Yes,
mean,
it is.
there is no going back.
You manifested it.
And that is funny to me.
The people of the nation, nationally, you are known as Kit Laser now.
So I was kind of right. Because I was like, hey, a lot of these people are only famous because their name is so cool. You know, it helped their career. Mm-hmm. And I, like, Tom Cruise is definitely just so much cooler than Thomas Mopather. It only took me like 2 weeks as Kit Laser to be in the news. I was kind of correct the whole time.
That may
I feel
have to do with the
vindicated.
strike.
I don't know. I think it's the Kit Laser effect.
But as soon as
I do
'cause
enjoy
you
Kit
shared
Laser.
that, you shared that article with us, and like we had such a big laugh over just Laser declined to comment.
I love it so much.
That immediately we reached out to our merch team and we're like, can we make this a shirt, please? And they did. There's a shirt.
It's like a front page newspaper looking thing.
Yeah. We're gonna
Black
release
and
it
white.
soon, but
I want that up for obvious reasons.
yeah, but we wanted to let the Striking Things shirt have time to breathe and actually support that cause. before-
100%.
Yeah.
So that's what's been up. But anyway,
I dig the Kit Laser.
yeah, thank you.
I don't know if I would change my name. I think we've talked about it before.
Your name's already very cool.
I feel like I've been told I have a good author name.
I agree.
Yeah.
Get to writing.
I do be writing. Just I haven't shown anyone my writing because it's not that great.
You can always switch it to Vinny Engel.
Vinny Engel? Oh, I don't know about that.
I do like that.
Vinny Engel? I don't know.
Vingel?
Ooh, V.
Well,
Ingle.
just phonetically how your mouth, I don't know. Your mouth is open at the end of Vinny, and then you have to go into Ingle. Vinny Ingle?
You could just make it one word. Viningle.
Viningle?
Vinny.
No.
That sounds like venereal.
I don't like,
Vincent Engel.
I like my
Ooh.
last, Vincent Ingle.
It sounds like Tingle.
That's not bad. See, this is where we run into things. My last name starts with a vowel, so it can be connected to other words.
Yes.
Like mingle,
Ooh.
single,
Tingle.
tingle, jingle.
Ooh.
So yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend make a whole rhyme about my last name.
Like with a boombox outside your window.
No, he said it to me and it was unprompted. I just was like, he just started singing it to me and I just was like, okay, this is very odd.
That's always so uncomfortable when people start singing to you.
A little bit.
Yeah, I hate it.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
But no, I like my first name and my last name together. I think it's a good combo. And Steve May as well. I think that is another great.
13.
I like my name.
Yeah.
There is a special effects coordinator at Pixar named Steve May. So for years, people have been like, hey, man, I saw the new Incredibles movie. Good job. It's like, that's not me.
It's not you.
Take the credit though.
Could
Yeah.
you do like a middle initial, like Steve J. May?
I could put the L, but
Steve
I
L.
don't like my
May.
middle name. So,
Steve L. May.
you know what my middle name is, right?
I'm going to say Lewis.
No.
Lionel.
No.
Larry.
Leonard.
No.
It's a
Larry.
Hold on.
Lawrence.
It's a Stranger Things reference. Well, it's not because
Lucas.
of Stranger Things, but there's a character in Stranger Things
Luke.
season 1 specifically.
It's not
that has
Lucas?
This name. No, it's not.
Lyle?
Lucas.
Oh, I know. It's the dad.
Yeah, it's Will's dad.
The
Lonnie.
buyer's dad. Lonnie.
Lonnie.
It's like Johnny, but with an L.
Steve
Lonnie.
Lonnie. Man, I don't like that either. I'm not going to lie to you.
Lonnie May. No.
Lonnie May, get you in here.
Steve May.
There's a tornado
Steve
coming.
Lonnie.
No, it's fun. Like there was like a really weird. I don't know if I talked about it at all in the podcast, but there was like this really weird situation where like my birth father is not in my life. You know, I think I've talked about that before.
A little bit.
And there was this question of like my mom thought that perhaps he had passed away, and so she was trying to figure out if he had. And there was this big, huge search to find out if he was dead or not. And this dude is like gone by multiple aliases throughout his life, so it's hard to track down and all this stuff. And when doing the so my mom doesn't talk to me about my dad at all because it was a very traumatic thing for her, and I think she just doesn't like talking about it. And so like learning all this stuff, I'm like, okay, well I gotta know what's his mom's name, what's some of the I need to know information, and I found out that he has a brother named Steve. And so when that happened, I was like, oh my God, am I named after a dude I've never met? It was a very weird feeling. And then I was talking to my mom on the phone the other day, and I forget what prompted it, but we're talking about like how we found what we found out in researching if my dad was dead or not.
Taken out of context sounds so.
Yeah, the results were inconclusive. We never found out if he actually kicked the bucket or not. But his brother Stephen came up, and my mom was very quick, like, you weren't named after him. You were named after Stephen Menard Clark from Def Leppard. I'm like, oh, cool. Because I guess my sister loves Def Leppard, so I guess my sister was like, name him Stephen Menard Clark. And she's like, no, we'll name him Stephen, but we're going to name him Lonnie because I like that name. I'm like, Mom, it's you.
It's you.
You're the reason.
I'm trying to think of which band member that is. Is that the lead singer?
I was thinking
it's
Def Leppard?
Save Big Money at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
That would be a weird thing to be named after. Dollar General May.
I'm not named after anybody. Although the name Madison became widely popular in the late 90s and the early 2000s for some reason.
Guitarist and songwriter.
Ah, okay.
That's Presidential Madison. You know that name.
Presidential Madison?
Mm-hmm. Don't you think so?
James Madison?
One of the Madisons.
I think there's only one president with Madison.
There's only one President Madison.
Yeah, but there was a lot like in the upper branches of government, you know?
Well,
yeah,
Madison,
that's fair.
but it was
That's
a
fair.
predominantly like male associated name. It didn't shift female until, like I said, late 90s, early 2000s, or at least that's my understanding. But there's a lot of mad names like Madeline, Maddie. I know we've talked about this before, but there's a lot my age.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, do you know that's apparently pronounced like Mass or Maz?
Maz?
Maz
Is it Maz
Mikkelsen?
Mikkelsen?
Probably, because, yeah. Interesting.
Very interesting.
You could be Mazison.
Mazison.
We're going to come up with a ghostwriter name for you, Madison.
Okay.
By the end of your tenure here on Streaming Things, we're going to hook you up.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. My if I just have my first initial and my middle initial, like MS, it would just say Miss Ingle.
Ooh, I like that.
That's kind of cool.
Miss Ingle.
Just something for you to write like
What's up,
erotic
Miss
fan
Ingle?
fiction with or something at least.
I need that. I need that.
I need that.
I need
Because I
that.
got all this shit
I got
unpublished.
all the stuff. Yeah.
Pirates of Booty Cove by
Which-
Miss Ingle.
Which, speaking of erotic literature, did you ever finish that book I gave you?
I have not finished it, but
Have
it
you
is
guys
good.
discussed the erotic literature that you guys have been sharing back and forth?
It's only this one book.
Well, I gave you.
You did give me one.
Did I give you
I
it?
can't remember. What,
So
you
what
haven't given me a physical book, but you've given me recommendations. I have given you a physical book to read.
What
Yes.
was the book? What was the book?
It's called Sea of Ruin.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the
It's
Godwin.
Sex
was
pirates.
so good.
Are there any other type?
No.
To be fair, it's been the best like pirate themed erotic book that I've read. That I am enjoying the plot.
Hold up.
You guys, I feel like you guys
That
got to
is-
take a step back
that is
and
so-
explain this world of erotic fan fiction that you guys find
I think our
yourselves in.
listeners are already well aware of this world of erotic fan fiction. It's not even fan fiction; it's just fiction.
Oh, okay.
It's spicy
It's just-
books.
Yeah, spicy.
But I love that Madison said it's the best, and I thought it was going to be a broad category, just like it's the best erotic fiction. But no, she said of all of the erotic pirate-based fiction I've read,
I have a specific.
and I have read many fuck pirates books. This is the best. No,
Oh,
I never would have thought of fuck pirates.
I've really tried to like find a good one that I like, and I'm just like, these are boring. Like,
So you
it's
have
just,
a thing for pirates?
Yes, I do.
Was this born of like
I
Caribbean?
think it was. Yeah, I want to say I was
Born of Caribbean.
8, 9 when they came out, or I was really young when I was infatuated by that, and I really enjoy like pirate lore and just kind
Sure.
of like, even though I know that historically they were very dirty and like very bad,
Grimy, yeah.
yeah, but I like this
The
idea
idea.
of like the anti-hero actually doing for good, kind of like a Robin Hood essence.
Yeah.
I want to get a naval cutlass tattoo somewhere. I dress up
So
as
Madison's like, I just Robin Hood in a boat fucking.
Right.
And like,
Yes. Yes. But
you know what would make this movie better? Fucking. I don't hate it.
But no, I'm a big fan of pirates, and it's just like, I don't know, the erotica part. I just honestly was like, if it's a little spicy, it just
Sure.
adds, whatever. And this book was really good until the last, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, you're excited for me to get to the end.
Yes, because the ending, in my opinion, is very like just so bizarre, and I want someone else's opinion about it. I need to talk to somebody else about it.
Gives a whole new meaning to peg leg.
Yeah.
They call me tripod.
But if you feel compelled enough to read pirate,
I forget which one I was
Erotic.
going to give you. I know I didn't like Kushiel's dart or whatever. I was just going to give you that to try. I did not.
Yeah,
I
no one
didn't-
likes that
I did not
dart.
make it very
you gave
far.
me a couple of recommendations, and I don't think I've read any of them.
I'm also simultaneously reading a Court of Thorns and Roses.
I've
think.
been recommended those.
It's one of the popular ones. Yeah.
I
I want to get back into reading more. I used to read a book
Same.
a day, for most of my life. And like Priory of the Orange Tree, Way of Kings, Brandon Sanderson, like all this stuff everybody's talking about. I want to get in on that, Steve.
Get in on it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I gave you some spicy movies,
You did.
some queer movies.
They're on my
You check some
they're
of
on
them
my
out.
watch list. I've watched a couple of sapphic movies.
You got to get to Benedetta,
That's on my watch list.
the horny lesbian nuns.
I watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Yes. Yes, queen.
I've actually watched it twice.
I bet you did.
I bet you did. I wish you would.
That's a beautiful movie.
And then I watched The Worlds May Come, which is, I think, a film based during
What-
the late 1800s.
What was that title?
You heard me.
Who are the worlds? Steve, do you have any interest in erotic pirate fiction books?
I do, but sadly, I don't know when I would have the time.
Just read it at
fair.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on
you got to
set.
do all this stuff at work, Steve. Like, hold on. Let me finish
Hold
this chapter.
on.
Fap.
Steve has a husband's bulge.
I'm getting a husband's bulge. What's that
What?
from again?
Cabin in the Woods.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
No, but the film's called The World to Come. Excuse me. And it's with
Somebody's coming.
they're coming.
I like your title better.
The World May Come. But it's with Vanessa Kirby.
Oh, world. Oh, Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby, Catherine Waterston, Casey Affleck, and Christopher Abbott.
Just a jump scare right in the middle. I love Christopher Abbott.
Yeah. But
Shout out Sanctuary.
Casey Affleck, we go.
Not a big fan.
No.
Well, there's reasons.
Yeah.
Things didn't go well. But did you say they had somebody that had some questions for us today?
Yeah,
for this episode?
some people have written in today with some questions they'd like us to go over just about our normal life.
Let's
Heck yeah.
riddle them.
Let's do it.
Let's riddle them off.
Let's do it to it.
Let's do it to it. Okay, here we go. This is a fun question. This one comes in from E. Scramo, who is actually the sister of Jenny, who did our quiz
Oh.
just a couple of days ago. They write, what's your favorite podcast memory / episode so far of this show? Streaming Things is what I'm assuming this question is directed towards.
Favorite.
Favorite memory of just being a part of Streaming Things in general. Do you have a favorite episode, a favorite thing we got into, a joke that we said?
Oh, there's so many good memories. I mean,
Yeah,
all the way
there
back to my basement and the log cabin where we would stay up all night watching Redacted and
Redacted.
Stranger Things and just sit and laugh and but I think my favorite, I think we've said this before, but my favorite coverage that I've listened to multiple times of my own shit is us doing the Lord of the Rings extended version deep dives.
Yeah, those are very
just
fun.
a lot of funny times, fun jokes,
Mm-hmm.
and mostly just because I love this movie so much. They're so quotable and
My favorite memory or little bit that will always make me laugh was when we were doing the Harry Potter coverage, and I forget which movie it was specifically, but it was the Polyjuice Potion episode.
Oh, yeah, when Andy-
and Andy's like, we've all been thinking it, right? Like we all would polyjuice into someone else and look at their dick or right? Like he was like, first order of business, what am I packing?
Yeah.
Right.
What am I doing
And I
with?
was like, no. And like he got so, but then to his benefit or credit rather, a lot of people wrote in like, absolutely, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm plucking the hair of whoever I like and I'm looking at my quote unquote self naked immediately.
First things first.
So Andy was just speaking the truth that everybody was too afraid to speak.
I mean, to build off of that, I think I would do that as well, just as the opposite sex. I think I would enjoy being
Having
a
a wiener?
dude. Yeah. Or just like, what does it feel like? You don't need to answer that.
You have to have like
You don't need to answer
that
that
was
question.
rhetorical shit.
everyone has to have some sort of curiosity about that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But it just the way Andy went about making his argument is still the funniest thing in the way.
That's very funny.
Because he didn't outright say what he was saying. He was just like, guys,
We all know it's obvious.
we're all thinking it, right? We're all thinking the same thing. We're all on the same page. And because we were in the context talking about, I think, minors, Chris was like, no.
We're not.
No.
Well, yeah, they're in school for wizardry. Yeah.
Because that would have been what? The second movie?
Second or
Chambers-
third.
It
Chamber
comes
Secrets?
It comes up a a couple times too.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But that
There's
discussion, I think,
still-
was in the second
I think
movie.
what do they do that in Order of the Phoenix or something? There's
Something
some,
like that, yeah.
some juice in.
Yeah, something.
But yeah, a lot of our listeners wrote in like, "Hey, Andy, got your back."
I feel you.
Feel ya.
Madison, as the newest addition to the Streaming Things family, do you have like a memory that warms your heart?
My first thought was the Misty episode when we dressed up as the three Misties. I really enjoyed that.
For the finale of
For the
season one
finale
of
of
Yellow
season one of
Jackets?
Yellow Jackets. I mean, truly just the whole Yellow Jackets coverage. I think season 2 I enjoy better just because I felt like season 1 coverage, I was still getting used to like being on the podcast, but season 2, I felt a lot more confident and comfortable. And but the Misty episode at the tail end of season 1 was really fun. And I like how the wig is still hung up in your kitchen.
There's still 3 separate Misty wigs just randomly
I love that.
in my apartment.
I love
one
that.
of them,
Easter eggs hidden about the house.
One of them is hung up, like you mentioned, in
your kitchen.
my pantry, basically my pantry in my kitchen. It's just there, along with a
Yeah.
top hat and a gray feather boa from Caligula.
Yeah, because have you guys dressed up before? Was it the first time you guys dressed
No,
up
we
for
never.
the pod?
Well, the whole video portion of the podcast is fairly new. We only
Yeah.
started it maybe 3 months before Madison joined.
Yeah, it wasn't
and-
long.
and
we
it
had
wasn't-
tried it before, and
Which
like
can
we
I
had
say?
cameras.
You did not inform me that we were being on camera, so I showed up
that's
the
true.
first time. I showed up the first time to do the first episode of Yellow Jackets, and I looked like shit.
You didn't look like shit.
I think I looked like shit, but you didn't tell me we were going to be on camera. And I remember walking in and seeing these webcams, and I'm like, Steve.
Shit.
I'm like, Steve, what
I'm
the
sorry.
fuck is this?
Again, it was so new that it wasn't even like.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, we had tried it in the past when Andy was on, and
Yeah, we tried live streaming to Twitch and stuff.
and we used like movie cameras. Like that's what Andy and Steve had at their disposal at the time, and so we're
Oh.
talking like
Black magic cameras.
Yeah,
Oh,
Black
wow,
Magics
okay.
and all
You
this
have Black
stuff.
Magic?
Andy
Personal?
does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was just like crazy to set up all the tripods and
It's a lot of
it
stuff.
was-
Yeah, we had to have a bunch of like SDI to HDMI splitters and
It was not the way to go.
like an
Yeah.
ATAM switcher and all that. Whereas this
I'm
is
sure it
literally just
looks-
fed into my camera and I can switch on the fly on my keyboard.
I'm sure it looked beautiful. I mean, this looks beautiful.
Well, we didn't have a Patreon at that time either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so what happened is the patrons is where all this stuff came from, is the money they give us for that. We reinvested into the show and bought all this stuff over the last year.
These mics, these lights, the lights do so much. Do you remember the first when we got this set up that we currently have?
It was
but
like truly after
we
hours.
didn't have any of the ambiance or anything. It was just
Oh, I
either
remember.
a harsh white light from the main room light that makes us all look like ghouls.
It looked like Cold War action.
Cold War action. I see a submarine might be floating by. Are weapons hot?
Down Periscope.
But I think
Down
the
scope.
only other episode I'm thinking of that I was on prior to Yellow Jackets was
Black Widow. Way back in the day.
It was Black Widow. There was also one where we did
The Halloween quiz or something?
No, it was like Christmas. We talked about Christmas movies.
There was one where I wasn't here, I think.
I think it was that one, and we just it was just really cool. It was really chill.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Madison and I used to work together, so
We did.
That's all we would do whenever we were working on shoots and whatnot. We would just talk about movies and TV that we were geeking out about currently, and then when we needed a third guest, we were like, "Let's get Madison. She's great. She's awesome."
Yeah.
And people love Madison.
They do. A lot of people DM'd me over the past months or so, but I got like an influx of people like, where's Madison? Like where on the internet, you know?
Oh,
and like,
okay.
what's her TikTok and
Gotcha.
where's her Instagram? And I just replied to every person, she's a very private person.
That, but also I don't have a major social media presence. So truly just, I enjoy coming on the podcast and talking about
It's so
stuff.
much work managing social media accounts.
It
I
is.
don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know how you do it at all because I can barely keep up with doing everything we need to do for the podcast. But then, like, man, the Discord,
that's a lot of
man,
stuff.
Patreon, and then even like every now I'm like, oh wait, I should tweet something.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
No.
I haven't put a picture of my dog on Instagram in a week.
Yeah, I think my social media footprint expands just to Instagram. And that's really it. I have a Twitter, but I'm not on it a lot. I have a TikTok, but it's private because I produce very corny and
Let's
very
see
corny
'em.
content.
Let's see 'em.
I haven't made anything in a while.
Have you seen the content on my TikTok? It's terrible. I only have like 3
nothing
videos.
in comparison to Kit Laser over
Kit
here.
Laser.
Shit.
Twister. Yes, quit.
Twister was also a good episode
Yes.
too. Twister was fun. Thanks for bringing that up, there's Steve.
Yeah, I
Kit
did
Twister,
it
the
on
hotspot
purpose.
laser.
Yeah.
It's my middle name. Good times.
Good times had by all.
Yeah, running the social media is tough, and that's the only reason I can do it at all is because you handle most of that other. Like, I'm not in the Discord anywhere near as much as I would like to be. Simple. Like, I got a report this morning. You know how Apple does that, where like screen time or whatever.
Hey, piece of shit! You're on your phone 16 hours yesterday.
It's
Go touch
an
grass.
average of 9.5 hours a day last week,
Yeah.
Damn.
and that's the average. So we can presume some days were more than that.
But it's also like that's a full-time job.
It is. It was till the
Right.
strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a lot. Like, mental health was not great.
Yeah.
Like, my wife just told me the other day, she was like, I think you probably should start finishing your screenplay or your novel. And I was like, for sure. I just gotta. And she was like, well, no, because TikTok, you being like a YouTuber guy or whatever was never your goal. And I'm like, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you. It was just like to open doors. And she was like, yeah, but she was like trying to like stress something that she didn't feel I was getting. She was like, I don't think you're constitutionally built for the career that you currently have, and you need to hurry and branch out because like
That's
people's
fair.
comments like really upset me and stuff. And she's like, I just don't think it's for you, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah.
However, right now I feel like I'm in a hallway and there are no doors, and I have to keep trudging until one opens, you know? If the podcast got like a little bit bigger, you know, I could chill out a little bit on the people being mean to me and tolerating it and stuff. But
Yeah.
and most people are nice, but it's like the mean ones are so loud, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because you'll come over and you'll be distressed about something that somebody messaged you on TikTok that was mean, and I get like Mama Bear on for you specifically. I'm like, who the fuck said that
Who
about
is it?
you? You want me to log in and dox them?
Yeah.
I'll dox them.
I'll log into my user 1234567 and just comment, blow them up.
People scare me is the honest answer,
Yeah.
you know, because they go to weird lengths to like upset the you know, balance of people's lives for innocuous opinions on things and stuff. And my job, quote unquote, is to just have opinions. And so it's like a dangerous place to be.
Right.
For sure. Because most people are unhinged, or many people are.
And usually the things you're having opinions on are like movies and TV. Like,
yes.
what are you doing to upset someone at their core if you're
Right.
like, yeah, I didn't like this movie.
Well, there's something about
Not for me.
people think if you don't like a movie that I love, that means you think I'm stupid because I love it. And you know what I mean? And like, that's not the logical leap you should be taking. I think it's really neat that people feel so personal and precious about art. But there should be a wall separate, because like I get annoyed. Like my brand, quote unquote, is like the love what you love guy or whatever, right? Because I truly believe ranking is bullshit. Stars are bullshit. Like 4 out of 5 stars. It's so meaningless. What do you mean 4 out of 5
We
stars?
orbit a star, Chris. What do you mean
100
stars are
people
bullshit?
worked on that movie for 3 years, and you just watched it and went 4 out of 5, or 2 out of 5, and just went about your like. That's wild, right? Like it's all meaningless. It's all for fun. I think we all know that on some level. But yeah, some people just don't have that separation, and they think, you think I'm an idiot because I love that movie.
Well, it's also
fuck you then.
It's also people hating something because somebody else likes it, and I can't get behind that either.
Yeah.
Like people are annoyed with, but just to shift it to like Taylor Swift, like people hate Taylor Swift, so they hate Taylor Swift fans or something like that. I'm like, that doesn't correlate. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, I think we're like evolutionarily, whatever. We're all kind of inherently tribalistic.
Sure.
Yeah, as a species, and we've kind of done that in the 21st century. That our tribes are like our pop culture identifiers and stuff, kind of now.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
And so that's something that's hard to get away from, I guess. But I tried to like Taylor Swift again yesterday because I know I'm the opposite now. I've kind of grown and matured enough to where when there's a giant fandom around something, I kind of feel jealous. Like, I love loving things.
I
So
want
what
a
am I
friendship
missing?
bracelet.
What am I missing? So I popped on some T Swift yesterday. I forget what it was. It was Taylor's version, so I knew I was on the right track.
There you go.
And I tweeted it out which was dumb, but I was like,
That's not dumb.
I was halfway through the song, and again, I wasn't liking it. I don't hate it, but I'm like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But at some point, I was like, wait, is this country? It is, right?
Well, it depends on what you were listening to.
I don't know, the Taylor's version shit.
There's a couple of albums that are Taylor's.
Really? There's multiple Taylor's versions?
Yeah.
It was...
If it was, it's the Taylor verse.
Oh, I tweeted it, so I know.
If it was Speak Now, it was a little bit more country. Was it purple?
There was a purple color-ish, I guess.
Okay, so then it was Speak Now. Speak Now is a country album.
That's
I would
wild
say.
to me. It's Timeless. Taylor's version was the song.
Let me see the picture. Yeah, that's Speak Now.
It's fucking country.
That was probably her last country album.
I just can't believe a country. I mean, the country's popular in the South, but like to be Taylor Swift level popular, it seems wild to me that she's kind of pretty blatantly pop country to me. She's not like make me want to roll my windows down and cruise like that, but
Yeah.
it's close. Am I gonna get like really hate mail now?
but I think like kind of you say it's not for you, but a lot of her music is geared towards young female audiences. So I mean, I don't necessarily think you should have to feel connected to Taylor's music because it's not meant for you necessarily.
Sure. But I have a lot of 30-year-old male friends that are Swifties, not Swifties per se, but they love Taylor
it's all
Swift.
preference, but I think also how you differentiate from other people is like, you're not going to be like, well, fuck Taylor, fuck fans.
Oh,
Whatever.
absolutely.
Like for me, I went to her show. I am a mid Taylor Swift fan. Like I am not, I wouldn't consider myself a Taylor, like a Swiftie, but I admire music.
You're Swiftie curious.
Yes. But, I wanted to experience this mass phenomenon that was Taylor Swift, just the broad, just the performance element of her show was impressive. And I wanted to see that. And to be in a stadium that was 50,000+ people was crazy. So yeah, I mean, but I'm not going to, I don't know, like to go back to the whole movie thing, like I'm not going to shit on people that love Taylor Swift because I think it's overrated or whatever. It's like, you like what you like.
Yeah, there are a sect of people, and I was like this as a kid, and I think some people just maybe don't grow out of it. But
I think we all have this phase.
Well, yeah, because I was definitely I liked their first album before they got popular kid. I was that guy. And it was like anything that was massively popular, I wanted to hate it because I wanted to be cool, Yeah,
you want to gatekeep your stuff that you find.
And I got to a place where I realized not liking something because everybody likes it is just as dumb as liking somebody because everybody else likes it,
Yeah.
And
Like what you like.
Just have your intent. And you're right. Like some things are just not, I think a lot of people don't understand that. And that's how I try to approach as a critic, like if I'm reviewing a movie, I try to think, okay, not only do I like or not like this and why, but more importantly, it's not, is this good or bad is not the question I ask. It's who is this for? You know what I mean? I think almost any movie review I've ever done, it's like, if you like this, you will like, or these kinds of folks will like this movie, because I believe that about every major movie has an audience, you know?
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. It can be tough out there as we try to navigate the many twists and turns that life throws our way. Not every problem we face has an obvious or easy solution, but talking through these issues can always bring major benefits. So whether you're dealing with a career change, relationship help, or just getting used to your new normal, therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate life, so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. I myself have benefited from therapy. I have benefited from BetterHelp. I was struggling to find myself and figure out who I was post-divorce. BetterHelp matched me with an amazing therapist who taught me all about codependency, what it was, and ways I can combat it and realize my whole true self. So if it sounds like therapy is the right move for you, then give BetterHelp a try. It's online, convenient, flexible, and can work with your schedule. Filling out a brief questionnaire is all it takes to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time. To start your own therapy journey, visit betterhelp.com/streamingthings today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings. We are taking a brief break from this episode so that I can shout out the super patrons for the month of July. These are the people who support the show at the $25 or up tier, and they are literally keeping the lights on here at Streaming Things, and we're going to shout them out. Stanton Valentino, Brett X, Emily Scarano, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Pills Baby, Jay Scramo, AK Ashley Ray, Alan Tomlinson, Wendy O'Laughlin, Jason Hawkins, Trey Barrera, Conrad, David Malfara, Kaylee Sampson, Professor Beth RN, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Jose Ruben Cruz Rodriguez, Alexis Adler, Thomas Alexander, Emmy, Joe Velez, Valerie, John Collins, Amanda King, Sun Loving Mortal, Andrew Gray, Jadinklage Morgoon, Jen Robinson, Kate, Kloop, Kalisha Reeves, Kiki Newton, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Jeanette Murphy, Casey McCain, and Enza. And with that, back to the show.
We have any other questions?
Yeah, bruh.
Oh, we got plenty of questions. Let's see. The next question comes from Jay Rich. Jay writes, what reality show would you guys see yourself doing the best at / lasting the longest on? Cooking show, Amazing Race, dating show, etc. Do you guys know enough about reality?
Yeah, pull some up.
Reality TV shows or like contests like Amazing Race?
I'm not good at traveling. I'm not good at cooking. I don't think anybody would want to date me.
I think I could do Survivor.
You think you could survive on the
I think I
on the
could.
island?
You could survive on Survivor?
I think I could do it. I don't think I am cool or interesting enough to make it onto Survivor, but I think if they for some reason chose me, I think I could do all right.
I think I could do really good at Big Brother,
Yeah.
because that's just hanging out in a house.
Yeah.
And like literally when I was an addict, I didn't work for like 5 years, and I just survived by being like funny. And so people would let me like live at their houses. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
But you'd be okay with like living in a house with a bunch of people being like recorded secretly by secret cameras the whole time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're down with that?
I'm kind of like,
I could see that about you. You're pretty, you're an open person.
Yeah.
You're,
Well,
like,
you're
you're an
also-
open book.
semi-exhibitionist, you know? They probably have to call me into the office and be like, we're going to need you to put some Hanes on once in a while.
You keep
bud."
going. You keep going into the kitchen completely naked, man. Like that's just a health code violation. Just at least put some briefs on.
What are some other reality TV shows?
There's The Mole. I'm thinking of all like the early aughts ones.
Well, here's the thing. I think, I don't know anything about what it takes to win at this show, but I think I would be good at Naked and Afraid because those are two things that go together for me. When I am naked, I am afraid.
Are you trying to overcome a fear?
No, if they're like, hey, be naked and afraid, like, okay.
Is it Naked and Afraid just Survivor without pants?
I think it's
Yeah.
What about Fuckboy Island? You think I would be good on Fuckboy Island?
No.
I just looked up like TV show. Is that a reality show?
Fuckboy
It is.
Island?
Is it? Oh, okay.
You're just the least fuckboy that I know.
This is true.
You're not a fuckboy.
I don't know if I can be like I think I would enjoy more strategic based reality television than I would drama. Like I wouldn't want to be on Jersey Shore. I wouldn't want to be on a dating show.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with that.
No,
I would enjoy being a part of a group that wants to strategically
like Squid
solve
Game
stuff. Not that.
Too
No,
strategic.
I want to survive actually after the show.
But like a bake off.
If I knew how to cook.
Or like a Nailed It. Nailed It's the one you don't have to know how to cook.
Nailed It. Oh.
That's the one where it's like people who don't know how to cook and they're like, make this super fancy cake.
Yeah, I'd fuck around with Nailed It. Sure. Or the show where you have to figure out if it's cake or if it's real.
Yeah, what's that called? Is it cake?
Caked? Is it cake? Caked?
Yeah, no, is it cake?
Is it cake?
So this is the question. Is it cake? It's on
I think I could do really well on that one too.
What's that reality show? It's only in the UK.
Love Island?
No, it's like it's a dating show, but it's like something with naked.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen this? You have to get like a
Blind
VPN.
Love or something.
Yeah, Love is Blind, maybe.
Naked Attraction?
Naked Attraction. I think that's what it is. So it's a dating show, kind of like the old school 70s style, where like there's a contestant and then like 3 people he or she might be dating, and they have to choose one. And they'll gradually reveal more of their body, completely new.
Oh, wow.
So like eventually it's just like everything from the neck down, naked, standing there. And like that's what they make their decision based off of. It's fascinating.
That would hurt my self-esteem so fast.
Yeah, I know.
There's no way I could do that.
Fascinating. Those Brits are wild.
Do you guys remember, I think this was on MTV, but it was like parental control.
Oh, vaguely.
Do you remember that? It was like this, the parents would come to the show and say, we don't like our child's partner. We want to choose. And they would like give them a catalog of people to choose for their child to go on a date with. And at the end, the kid would narrow it down to like the old partner or the new one, and he or she would pick.
Oh, that's so savage.
Damn.
But it was always funny because the parents would like talk mad shit about like their kid's partner.
Yeah.
And it was full of drama, but that's probably the most drama I could do.
I would do really well on like Pimp My Ride.
Could you pimp a ride?
No, I wouldn't have my ride pimped.
Or wait, what are those like home makeover shows?
Oh yeah, please make over my place.
I would thrive.
That'd be fun.
I love interior decorating.
That's one thing
They
we
do that
can.
thing where they have like a giant billboard of what your house used to look like, and they open it up like, here's what it looks like.
I just do extreme home makeover. And
We could watch reality TV show on this TV on this show. Those are not struck. We could become a reality TV podcast.
What was the host for Extreme Family Makeover or the home? You know what I'm talking about? It was that guy where the girl was like, I want to be a princess, and then he would like turn her room into like a castle.
That show rocked.
But wasn't there an issue with that?
Extreme
because
Family
they
Makeover
would make
Home
these
Edition.
big houses for these very like lower middle class families, and they couldn't afford the home.
Even the taxes and stuff.
Yeah, so they would end up not being able to live there post.
Or what about like the Pimp My Ride, when they would just put like a popcorn machine and shit in your car, and you're like, because you said you liked movies, like thanks. The fuck, like who actually wants that?
It's like just getting gas in your car, just like yeah.
I need some popcorn, my guy.
We could just become like the Property Brothers podcast.
Just cover Property Brothers.
And does that sound amazing?
That sounds like I want to slowly open up some veins.
American Pickers.
Could we cover like YouTube videos?
We could. Like someone suggested to me, because I was talking about our plight at my day job, and I talk about him fairly often. We got to get him on the pod one time. My buddy Kyle at work.
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle's great.
Yeah, Kyle's great. I don't know. I got to tell you about his movie ranking system. It's genius.
Oh,
it may not be genius, but it brings me much joy. But anyway, he suggested we review YouTube channels. Like you can just pick a random YouTube channel and watch a couple things, and like, yeah, I like this channel. This is good, which I thought was funny. Because
I usually watch Architectural Digest YouTube channels. They have a series. They have a series where they give a same 3D model image of a room or a kitchen or a living room that has no furniture or decoration in it, and they just have these 3 highly professional, highly acclaimed architects like go in and just kind of put their own touch on it, and it's amazing to see the different styles that they go with.
That's fascinating.
And at the end, I'm like, that one's shit. That one's good. That one's shit.
Love it.
Yeah.
But no, Kyle's movie ranking system, he calls it the Morbius scale.
Oh.
Because his thought process is that movie is just a baseline movie. It achieves everything it needs to achieve, but not well. It's just the default. This is what it is. And so every time he sees a movie, because he sees movies more than I do, probably as much as you do, Chris. And so every day I go to work and I know he's seen a movie, I'll go down like, hey, how was it? How was it? And he goes, less than Morbius or more than Morbius.
That's his whole system.
Yeah. Or it's less than Morbius, or more than Morbius. and one day I've been meaning to pitch this to you, but like, because we talk about like general things going on with the industry at times. If we ever did an episode about rating systems, I really wanted to bring Kyle on as a third guest so he can talk about the Morbius scale, because he's actually got a pretty good, I think he has similar beliefs on like 5-star ratings and stuff like that we do.
I think we should do that once the strike's over. Do like a rating system. A lot of people are into that nowadays too, like the drafts, all that stuff in regards to pop culture. That could be fun.
Real funny anecdote. So Jay Rich just asked that great question about reality TV.
Sure.
Jay Rich is a very new patron. Jay Rich became a member of the Discord just this week.
Oh wow!
And he's been highly interactive in there. But he mentioned this comment. I have to read it out loud because it's really funny in context of where the show is now from where it used to be. He writes, "Understanding that I only found the show during the Last of Us run. Rookie, I know. Listening to old shows is funny. I saw one titled Ranking the Batman Movies and thought, oh, cool. I'd be down to hear how the guys rank these. An hour later, I wonder if they're actually going to talk about that eventually." Because that was back when we would do like a crossing stream segment for like 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And then do the main event of the topic of the show.
Yeah. I had no recollection of even ranking Batman movies.
Yeah, we ranked Batman movies at one point. Yeah. That's funny.
My ranking scale changes constantly. I usually just do S tier, or excuse me, like the tiers, the tier
S tier,
list.
A tier.
Yeah, that's how I rank. But
how low do you go? Do you get? Is it S, A, B, C, D, F?
It's S, A, B, C, D, F. Yeah.
Why do we skip E?
I don't like E as like the worst. Make it an F.
F sounds like failure.
Yeah. F in the chat.
Yeah, F in the chat for E.
Yeah. But to be fair, there really aren't a lot of F movies.
No, honestly, like as far as Letterboxd goes, which is where I spend most of my time, it's like, and that's just why ratings are bullshit. But like, even when I try really hard, like, is a 4-star movie the same in my heart as another 4-star movie? Not necessarily at all. Like I could like, sometimes I'll get out of a theater of a movie I really like oh, it was so fun. And like, I'll never watch it again. I'll never think about it again. I give it 4 stars because it's like 3 to me is like the average.
I agree.
Like if it's less than 3, that means it actively pissed me off in some way because it's like, it's such a miracle for a movie to exist and make any sense whatsoever at all. As somebody who's tried to make movies, it's so fucking hard. And it's like, whenever I see a whole complete 90-minute movie that like made narrative sense, I'm like, oh, that was decent. I chuckled. I had a decent time. That's 3 stars, you know? Whereas Steve, I know, does not approach it that way. And we went and saw a movie together at one point, and I think Steve gave it a 2.5, which to me is fuck this movie. And I gave it like a 3.5 or something because I really liked it. And I was like, Steve, what did you hate about it? He's like, I didn't hate it. And I was like, we started arguing because I was like, basing on my rating system, I was like, why'd you give it a 2.5? And I remember him being like, we don't have the same system, man. But I mean, that's still, if you multiply it by 2, it's a 5 out of 10. That's the way I look at it.
And it's funny, like if people go and compare our letterboxes for movies we've seen together, we'll both say publicly, oh yeah, I like that movie, but you're usually a whole star ass more than I am every single time. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's like 3's kind of my baseline because it's 6 out of 10, you know?
That's usually my baseline. If the movie is like, I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
3 out of 10, 3 out of 5 is all right.
I rarely give 5 out of 10.
Okay, movie.
Rarely.
You mean 5 out of 5?
5 out of 5, yeah.
Same.
Rarely.
Usually
I
I'll
rarely
give something
like it too.
a 4.5. And then years later, after thinking about it, I'm like, okay, that's definitely a 5. I still think about that often, and I'll retroactively give the 5.
See, also, another element that I consider is if I am constantly rewatching this movie, then it bumps up in my rating because I'm like, the fact that it holds such a chokehold on me that I am revisiting it and spending my time rewatching it, even though I know what happens, that automatically makes the rating go up.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
For sure. I know what you mean. Like ratings definitely go up and down over time on the same movie because you change as a person, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, 4.5 is like, I'm too much of a coward to give it 5 is all that is, you know? But there's all kinds of stuff. Like, I give 5 out of 5s pretty liberally. Are we not friends on LB?
I follow you, but you don't follow me. Which
Do I
maybe
not?
maybe you shouldn't follow me right now because
You watching a bunch of pirate porn
Actually,
and
I
logging
don't
it?
I don't know if I follow you on LB.
yeah. Thanks, guys. No, I just recently like reactivated my Letterboxd, and I've been like going through and being like, oh yeah, I've seen this. Oh yeah, I've seen this. So it's probably gonna like mess up your feed.
I don't actually check the lightning bolt feed. Like what?
Oh, really?
Hardly ever. I don't use it
Because
properly.
yeah, look, it's all me just like liking stuff that I've seen.
Well, that's another thing is I don't click the heart button, and now I don't want to start because I hardly ever have clicked that before.
I hardly click the like button.
Yeah, I just rate and log. I didn't even learn how to properly log until like 2 years ago. I would just click the watched eyeball, but you have to like log it for it to be in your stats. You know,
Like rate it.
it just says review or log. There's a whole button for it,
Oh.
and that's what puts it in your diary. So I went year by year and went through every movie that came out. And there's many thousands, so I didn't go through all of them. But I actually sat one day, and I was supposed to be working, so that's why I did it. I was
same.
like,
I
"Fuck
do
you,
this
sticking
when
it to the man." Mm-hmm. And I went to like 1999 and went through like the top 300-400 movies and logged or clicked watch on all the ones I'd seen. I did that all the way to like 1950. And then I stopped because I've seen very few movies pre-1950, if I'm being embarrassingly honest. So I was like, it's not worth it.
How dare you?
So now I've got like 2,700 and something movies. And like I've probably seen closer to 28, 29 because there's like some weird kids movies I just didn't find.
I have 500,
You love trolls.
I have 599 films on my thing right now.
You just need to spend an afternoon when someone else is paying you to do something else.
Well, that's the thing. I have been on this app quite a bunch because I want to like fill it up. I want to get as many movies as I can.
Yeah. It's
Like
fun.
I was like Sausage Party. I've seen that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, I love Letterboxd. But the ranking system is very bizarre, which is why if there's a ranking that I feel like I need to justify or whatever, I'll write a comment to kind of like fluff it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's just it's not supposed to be taken too seriously, and I think people do. I love what Letterboxd specifically is doing for like the love of cinema. Like a lot of people are just like excited to watch more movies now because they can kind of see the number and stuff, you know?
Also, the comments and reviews are completely unhinged.
Yes.
And I love it.
It's fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah. But
So fun.
I think to some degree, people are gamifying art too much because of that too. Like there's a bad negative side to that coin. Like I have a lot of, no hate to these friends, but a lot of my friends on the interwebs will do things like I rate my movies out of 100 and they'll say, Marriage Story is a 96.4 out of 100. And it's like, or a 9.2 out of 10. Bro, what is the point? Like, if we all secretly know the 9 is bullshit. Like, it's just numbers. We're just making stuff up. It's arbitrary. It's art, you know? But now you're putting a decimal system. Like, where are you going with this, my guy? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Have we lost the plot? Like, did this move you? Did this move you as a human at all?
Is it more than Morbius?
Yes. Yes.
See, I like the simplicity of that. And I wish I could inherit that as my ranking scale. But I think I've committed to my...
The stars are fun. It's addictive to fill them up. And, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tears are fun. Sure.
I mean, if you look at my stats, most of the movies that I rank are 3 stars.
My, like the bell curve thing, you mean?
Like,
where it shows you your flow. Yeah. That looks like a normal... Actually, you're kind of a hater.
I know. That's what
You're a hater?
it's very hard. Like, I usually don't give above 4 stars.
Look at
hardly
mine.
ever. I have 15 movies that are 5 stars.
Chris is just a flat line on 5.
No,
You're
I
just
mean,
too-
it's,
you're
it's
just-
actually...
Oh.
Yeah. But here's my thinking. Now I have a huge tower at 4.
So
Hold
glad
on,
you
give me
said
this.
tower.
You go ahead. I think my reasoning is this.
You're going to follow me.
Yeah, follow me, bro. Or me follow you, bro.
Me follow you.
I think my theory about why I have so many 4 and 5 stars and stuff is because I am actively, with 100 years of cinema history behind me, seeking out the movies that everyone else is saying are the best and choosing to watch them And therefore, I'm seeing only the cream of the crop of, of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Whereas, like, when I rank movies a little lower, it's typically the ones that are coming out nowadays. That, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if I'm like Googling...
Your average is 4 stars. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, 4 is like my go-to of like, that was fucking cool. I like that, I like that. That was the tits.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's an 8 out of 10.
Who only has... You have 2 movies out of your 2,700 that are 2 stars. Or excuse me, half star.
A half star.
What
the
is
lowest
that?
Star possible.
I can't see it.
It's Pain and Gain from Michael Bay, which I don't think I even finished. And The Tax Collector, that movie with Shia LaBeouf, where he got that tattoo. Do you remember when he got that whole chest tattoo for a role? And Mulholland Drive is 1 star, but everybody gets real mad at me for that.
One film that is half star is Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh, mine's right there with you with 1 star.
No, mine's a half star.
Yeah, it didn't.
Half star.
You're right.
That's appropriate rating.
Steve and I had to watch that together for the pod, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that movie was dog shit.
I do want to rewatch the David Lynch movies and because a lot of people love David Lynch, and I haven't tried to like Lynch since my teens. It's been 20 years since I tried to watch Twin Peaks or any of those movies. And maybe I'm old enough now to kind of get it or whatever. Like I know David Lynch has been quoted as saying like, you're not supposed to understand the movies, which is like, I kind of hate you again. Yeah. But people really love that man, and I love cinema, and I want to love that man. So I'm going to try again really soon.
There's also an app that allows you to track the vinyl records that you own and tells you how much your collection is worth.
You're a big vinyl head.
I am a big vinyl head.
Her head is made of vinyl.
But I like how the range is so big. Like my collection could be worth $300 or $1,000.
Whoa.
Well,
but that's not all of my records.
Why such a big swing?
I think because it can vary on the type of edition it is, and
it depends on the current exchange rate.
Or like the quality of it.
The dollar's unstable right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should actually be investing in vinyl.
Are there more questions?
Oh, yeah, there's probably tons.
Oh, probably tons, but we are out of time.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. That's going to be the end of the show.
So After Hours isn't always going to be what we do for our secondary one, but because there were some things happening in the background of the show, trying to figure out what we can do, we had our quiz planned, and next week we're hopefully going to have a lot of stuff. We got a President's Day trivia in the works.
Yeah,
we're going to try to get Andy for that.
President's Day?
Yeah.
So Steve's like really into presidents. And we have one every year usually.
On President's Day.
Which I don't know why.
We didn't have one this year.
We've done it twice. Andy and I knew 0 of the answers the last 2 times.
I wouldn't be any help.
We've learned 0 about presidents since then, but sure.
Yeah, you guys learn. People have been requesting a President's Day trivia.
I will give the people what they want, but continue to write in questions because we will do these after hours periodically. We can save them. We might get through 10 questions next time we try this instead of 3 because we brought up Letterboxd accidentally.
But there's a bunch of different style of episodes we can do. There was I'm going to try to write a D&D campaign for us to do because that was one of our more popular ones. There's been a request for music trivia because we were famously bad at that.
We can do Cajun style. Family style.
There's also been, I think, Madison, you're the one that came up.
I want to do hot ones.
Well, we're going to call it hot things.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Because I want to see
how high you can go.
Yeah. Because I think some people are
Andy can do like the 1 chip challenge and stuff, so he should not be on that episode.
The bomb.
I could do maybe like the 3rd highest. I'm a wimp on hot things.
We're going to be like J-Law. What do you mean?
But like we have to.
What do you mean?
In terms of like, because people have suggested we play board games and stuff like that. In order to do that, I have to change the studio a bit because right now we just have the 3 cameras and there's no way to show like a thing we're eating.
I think you could. There's ways. Playing. There's lots of board games you can play online, and you could just show your computer the way that we do for trivia and stuff. We could play a game that way.
Sure, that's something we can.
I'm just saying, if for a solution for games, I mean, we could just do stuff that translates well to computer, and that way you can just share screen.
Yeah, I think that's
fair. The hot ones is on my top list. Because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Where are we going to get these hot wings?
I think you can.
That's why we should call it hot things.
Hot things.
And they don't have to be wings. They can be whatever.
We just make stuff hot.
Yeah.
So I could just talk like this.
We can get like a Saratoga chip with like hot sauce.
And that's one of those things is the sound.
And usually on the product it labels like what's the scale?
The heat factor.
Scoville?
Scoville.
I think it's
Scoville units.
Scoville units.
Yeah, the heat factor.
Yes.
This motherfucker
How
just
hot
said
Yeah,
is
the heat
it?
factor.
the hotness. I think it's called the hotness.
The hotness.
Oh, this rates a bay on the hotness factor.
This is mothering. Did I do that right?
Ooh,
Dead
this
ass?
is
Yes.
Choke Me Daddy.
Dead ass.
Joke. Step on me. This would be a step on me hotness.
Step on me, you fuck mountain.
This is a
Whoa.
this is a Jeremy Allen White.
Damn.
Yeah, that's high. This is a Margot Robbie. Thank you for tuning into this fucking chaos and for supporting us
Seriously.
Yeah.
in perpetuity. We love you so much. That's all the time we have for right now. My name is Kit Laser.
I don't have the laser up.
It's okay.
I'm terrible. There it is.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve, the guy who doesn't have the laser up.
It's a lot you got going on over there.
Pew, pew.
Yeah.
And this was Streaming Things, sort of. Happy streaming.
We're not used to this format.